Shalom, shalom in the name of Yahweh. This is the fifth day, Aliyah, of Parashah Beshalach, Exodus chapter 15, verse 26, through Exodus chapter 16, verse 20. Dealing with the ungrateful wretch, which is who we are as the children of Israel. We are ungrateful toward the Most High for the things that He's done for us. And so many times throughout the Torah, it highlights just how merciful Yahweh is when we do mess up and when we do, do things that are disrespectful toward Him. So we're going to get started. I want you to know that the next new moon is going to be February 3rd. Next new moon is February 3rd. And Passover will begin on April 18th to April 19th, sunset to sunset. And the last day of the Feast of Unleavened Bread, Passover, will be April 24th to April 25th, sunset to sunset. All right, so those are the next days that we have to pay attention to. And remember that the new year will start on so-called April 4th to April 5th, sunset to sunset. Okay. Shalom, Shakata Gad. So we're going to start in Exodus chapter 15. It's very important to note these things that we're going to be going over, because a lot of times they spell out, different, they spell out, there was more clarity on certain doctrines. All right. Chavez, Reggie, Marty, Ricardo, Shakata God, Shalom, Shalom, Wabarakatha, Mashpaka family to you also. Hallelujah. All right, so let's go ahead and get started on this Torah portion today. And we're going to try to keep it pretty brief. All right. Exodus chapter 15, verse 27. That's the last end of the chapter. Last verse of the chapter. Then we're going to go ahead and, go to the next part of the chapter. Next part of the reading. Go ahead.
And they came to Elim, where were 12 wells of water, and 70 palm trees, and they encamped there by the waters.
So now this kind of, to me, this kind of is referring to like the 70 elders, okay, which haven't been set up yet, which we're going to see them in the next two chapters. We're going to go into chapter 18, okay, and also is getting to them, the 12 tribes of Israel, the wells. All right, so the condition of the people, which is the wells, all right, is reflected on the condition of the elders, which are the palm trees. So you have these 12 wells, 70 palm trees, right? And the palm trees are being nourished by these wells of water. So we have kind of an insight, all right, maybe like a piece of wisdom that the Most High is dropping on us right there. And you can call it a foreshadow also. We can call it a foreshadow. Shalom, Chavez again. All right. You might have said it before, but I'm just not seeing it. So, all right, so go ahead. Kala Shabbat Bar Yahweh. Naishawa Nashama. All that Yahweh said will we do and hear. All right, go ahead.
And they took money from Elim, and all the congregation of the children of Beshalach came unto the wilderness of Sin, which is between Elim and Sinai, on the 15th day of the second month.
So on the 15th day of month number 2. Go ahead.
After they departed out of the land of Egypt.
So when we left Egypt, we had this journey, and now we come to another station of the stations where we set up booths. And this is why we celebrate the Feast of Booths, because we went from these different places. As we went there, we set up tents, and then we would set up the booths also to kind of relax during the daytime in the cool of the day, get some shade. Go ahead.
And the whole congregation of the children of Beshalach murmured against Moshe and Aharon in the wilderness.
Now, once again, ungrateful Israelites, we're some ungrateful people. So now we're complaining against the Most High. We complain against through, acting like it's Moses and Aaron's fault that the things that we acting like it's their fault that the things that we aren't able to have when fear comes into the picture. We want to act like it's their fault. It's the leadership's fault. It's Moses' fault. It's Aaron's fault. All right, go ahead.
And the children of Yasha'Allah said unto them, Uta Allahim, we have died by the hand of Yahweh in the land of Egypt.
First, they wanted to go back to Egypt. Then they said that you brought us out into this desert to die. Now they're saying, well, we wish we would have died in Egypt. Ungrateful people, man. Ungrateful people. We can never satisfy our people. So you have to really just be patient with us because we've been this way since day one. Now go ahead.
When we sat by the flesh pots, and we did eat bread to the full.
So they have pots full of meat, pots full of, delicacies that they wanted to eat. Go ahead.
For ye have brought us forth into this wilderness to kill this whole assembly with hunger.
So now they saying first they were thirsty. Now they saying, well, you brought us out here to make us die of hunger and thirst. And what we should do is have faith and confidence in Yahweh to do what he wants us to do. And then to ask him for the things that we lack and to have faith in that. As we see in the book of Matthew, chapter 6. When Yahweh said, you got all these, you got animals, you got the birds, you got the lilies, they don't do anything. But Yahweh makes sure that they don't lack anything. So if your spirit and you're seeking Yahweh the right way, you won't have anything. You won't lack anything. But we have to understand how this works, and we have to understand it through the spirit of wisdom. All right, go ahead.
Then said Yahweh unto Moshe, Behold, I will rain bread from heaven for you, and the people shall go out and gather a certain rate every day, that I may prove them whether they will walk in my law or no.
So the Most High is saying, I'm going to rain bread down from heaven. So I'm going to give you some nourishment from the fourth dimension, bring it into the third dimension, and let you consume it. So the Most High he said, I'm going to perform a miracle for you. All right. It's nothing for the Most High to perform a miracle for us. It's us that see it as something, marvelous. But to the Most High, his works are his works. He can do anything and everything. But we are in constant awe of Yahweh. All right. So we have to maintain that constant fear, that constant respect, that constant humility, that constant obedience to Yahweh. And don't get it twisted like, oh, well, he's not going to do anything to me because, we're in captivity and I don't really have to do what the Most High said to do and so on and so forth. But if you do that, the Most High, he would not suffer the wicked. He would not suffer sinners to go unpunished. He'll punish you in this world and the world to come. All right, go ahead.
And it shall come to pass that on the sixth day they shall prepare that which they bring in.
So he said, in the sixth day, whatever you bring in, go ahead and prepare it on the sixth day of the week. All right, the sixth day of the week. Whatever you bring in, okay, it said prepare. Go ahead.
And it shall be twice as much as gathered daily.
It's going to be twice as much as you've been gathering every day. All right, so he doesn't want you to be preparing that food or doing anything with that food when the sun goes down. Because after the sixth day, the evening comes. And then once you go to the third stage of evening, which is the nighttime, now you enter the new day, which is a Sabbath day. So that's when the Sabbath starts. At the end of the sixth day of the week and at the beginning of the seventh day of the week. Go ahead.
And Moshe and Aharon said unto all the children of Yasha'Allah, even then you shall know that Yahweh hath brought you out from the land of Egypt.
So by even, you're going to see again the power of Yahweh again, and you're going to be amazed again. So no matter what the Most High Yahweh was doing for us, we constantly needed him to reassure us with miracles. And even when he did the miracles, we didn't really respect and appreciate it. All right. But then that's why these are the same types of attitudes that caused us to be put into captivity. Not wanting to respect and not wanting to walk in what Yahweh said. Not wanting to fully trust in him. Not wanting to obey him, and that led us into captivity. All right, go ahead.
And in the morning, then ye shall see the glory of Yahweh.
So call your verse where you at.
Exodus chapter 16, verse 7.
Go ahead.
And in the morning, then ye shall see the glory of Yahweh, for that he heareth your murmurings against Yahweh. And what are we that you murmur against us?
So Moses is saying that, we're nobody. It's not our fault. You murmuring against us. Who are we? This is all Yahweh's doing. Yahweh is making this happen, not us. We're not making this happen. So your complaint is against Yahweh, is what Moses is making sure that they understand. Like, you need to tread lightly. Yahweh is in control of this, not me. And I think that that's one thing when someone tells you something that's in the scripture, someone tells you, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that. You want to get mad at the person, you want to call the person over righteous. You want to call the person a super brew. And you don't realize that that person is just being a parrot of what Yahweh says. Yahweh says you shouldn't work on the Sabbath. Yahweh says a woman should not wear that which pertains to a man, which means that she shouldn't wear, she should wear longer and looser skirts and really tunics. If you want to get really culturally appropriate, the women and the men wore tunics. All right. So you can't get mad at someone because they're correcting you and telling you what Yahweh has already said in his word. Because you're not getting mad at that person. You're really disrespecting Yahweh. So you have to be very careful on how you respond to people telling you something that you may not want to hear. All right, go ahead.
And Moshe said, this shall be when Yahweh shall give you in the evening flesh to eat, and in the morning bread to the full, for that Yahweh heareth your murmurings, which you murmur against him.
So he said Yahweh hears the complaining. He knows your heart. He knows your inward thoughts. He knows what's going on inside that brain of yours. So keep your thoughts and your mind and your heart pure to Yahweh in the name of Yahushua, or you will be judged for every thought that you entertain. That's why the scripture says, casting down every thought, every imagination that exalts itself against the knowledge of Yahweh. So when you exalt yourself above Yahweh's word, you're really trying to do what Hashatan did when you look in Isaiah chapter 14. You want to exalt yourself above the thrones of the Most High, Yahweh. And that's not really going to happen. It's a futile effort, all right? It's a futile effort. It's not going to happen. All right, go ahead. So you might as well give up that race. Go ahead.
And what are we? Your murmurings are not against us.
So he's saying that we're nobody, man. Moses telling the people that we're nobody for you to complain against us. This is the Most High's program. So when we come teaching Torah, teaching Yahweh Shai Hamashiach, people get mad at you, but it's really Yahweh that they're getting mad at, the frustration. Because Yahweh is the one that's giving these instructions and giving these directions out to us, and we have to do what he says to do to a T. Read.
But against Yahweh, and Moshe spake unto Aharon, saying to all the congregation of the children of Yashar'Allah, come near before Yahweh, for he hath heard your murmurings.
So he said, come near Yahweh. So now the people are going to have to come near to Yahweh. Go ahead.
And it came to pass, as Aharon spake unto the whole congregation of the children of Yashar'Allah, that they looked toward the wilderness, and behold, the glory of Yahweh appeared in a cloud. So
the glory of Yahweh appeared in a cloud. His majesty, his wonder, his glory, it appeared in the cloud, and they saw it. They saw Yahweh appear into the cloud, all right? And then they, so they got a first-hand glimpse of the power, of Yahweh. And we don't have that opportunity today, to see Yahweh working or to see Yahweh performing miracles through his son Yahushua. But we can. Once we decide that we're going to walk in wisdom, I've seen it before through wisdom. And once we decide that we're going to do exactly what the word of Yahweh says that we're supposed to do. And it's not a walk that's impossible. You can access more understanding. You can access a better a relationship with Yahweh. Isn't that what you want? Don't you really want a relationship of back and forth? Don't you want to know that he's listening to you and he's responding to you, when you pray? And the way that we reach and attain to that level is through walking in wisdom and through living in the Proverbs, living the word of Yahweh and expecting to get the return off of our spiritual investment. When you sow into the spirit, you reap it in the spirit. And that spiritual harvest is going to go into the physical world also. But when you sow into the flesh, you only reap into the flesh. And the flesh, the flesh genders unto destruction. All right. So it was the last verse that we read. But in these chapters, in these verses, we see that we have to always be grateful and respectful to Yahweh and his position. Because he is all, he is everything. All right. So, believe it or not, we're going to go ahead and end on that note right. And we're going to go ahead and end this a Torah portion. So the one thing that we see here is we see that patience is important. The Most High doesn't move on our time. He moves on his time. Right? He doesn't move on our time. He moves on his time. And we also see that we have to stay away from the works of the flesh. Because a lot of people are getting disrespectful. They're getting angry. They're getting contentious. All right. And they kind of are rebelling against Yahweh, talking against his prophets, his teachers that he's given us, which is Aaron and Mashah, as we see in the scriptures. So the scriptures show that the Most High was upset with the people. I mean, the scriptures say, well, we didn't get there yet, but the scriptures show that Aaron and Moses were being disrespected by their own people, whom they just led out of slavery, captivity. And the people say, we want to go back. First they said, we want to go back. Then they said, you brought us out here to die. Then they said, well, we're going to die of thirst. Then they said, we're going to die of hunger. Then they said, oh, man, we was eating so good when we were in slavery in Egypt. They're reminiscing. It's almost like when they get their freedom, now they're like, well, you know what? We should have stayed slaves. We should have stayed captives. We should have stayed under the foot and the heel of our enemies. Why? Because they gave us the things we wanted and the things we need. Of course they did that, because that's the psychological game of the Stockholm syndrome. You give your captive things that you make them feel as if you like them by giving them things that they need or things that they want. So now when they have an opportunity to get free, or while they're still in bondage, they'll have a respect and an appreciation for you as the captor. That's exactly what the so-called Europeans did to us. They make us respect and appreciate and depend on them because they've been so good to us since we've been in captivity. And that's the mentality our people have, right? So we have to lose that mentality, and we have to walk a little uprightly and be a little more attentive to the word of Yahweh, right? And as we see in the history that we just read, the Most High, in his mercy and his grace, they're complaining. The Most High is still going to give them something. He's still going to give them what they're complaining about, man. Even when they complain about water, the Most High told Mashah, get that piece of wood. And he put the wood inside the water, and the water was made sweet, because originally it was too bitter to drink. So the Most High said, yo, take this. That's going to neutralize all that bitterness. That's going to make it taste better. So we have to be mindful, and see that this is not just a one-time thing. It didn't just start all of a sudden. We had been complaining even when Moses was coming to us. The people complained. And our people are a complaining bunch of people. Even when Moses first started his mission to liberate us through the power of Yahweh, the people said, Moses, the work is getting harder since you came back. You need to chill out, We need to go back to Midian with Jethro and then tend to your sheep, man. We're trying to work for these Egyptians here. But sometimes the struggle for liberty, the struggle for freedom, for your freedom, spiritual and personal, is going to require a lot more sacrifices than you think. It's going to require a lot more sacrifices than you envisioned. It's going to require a lot more sacrifices and a lot more effort than just sitting in captivity as a slave. And that's what our people wanted to do. They wanted to just stay in captivity with their enemies ruling over them, and making their life so easy. That's what the white man has done to us. Here's a corner store. Here's some insurance, you get sick. Okay. Here's some vehicles. Put the fuel into them. Oh, I'll make you get some money so you can go ahead and put the fuel in our vehicle. I'll make you do that. Don't worry about it. Shalom Lakai Hezekiah, Aliyah. I'll go. He makes it easy. We'll give you Israelites some flesh pots. We'll give you cucumbers. All right. We'll give you a nice little workload, a nice work day. We'll give you an 8-hour work day. And we'll give you food, we'll give you clothes, and we'll be good to you. But the Most High wanted to raise us up out of captivity. And the more they afflicted us, the more we cried out to the Most High. But then when he gave us what we wanted, what did we do? We complained about it. You see? We complained, so we stopped trusting in the Most High. We had stopped trusting him. So now, in the captivities that we're under now, it's important that we learn how to trust in Yahweh. It's important that we learn how to walk in the ways that Yahweh has shown us in his word. We have to plant deep into our hearts. All right. So, that's pretty much where we're coming from today. I think that we're going to go ahead and end. This class now. So once again, my reader was my son, Amadia Nanai Shaman Ban Parzah. So let's give him a hand for his wonderful reading tonight. All praise to Yahweh. All right, he flipped up his style on us a little bit tonight, right, Amari? You flipped up your style a little bit, your style of reading. Was it conscious or was it just instinctive? How you when you came to your words, you were a little more smooth with your delivery on the last syllables of your of the phrases you were reading. Was that deliberate? Was that on purpose? Okay, so we noticed that. Let's give him a hand, all right? Let's give him a hand. Yeah, you just got like 200 thumbs up. Yeah, and Shakata God, she gave you a hand or two to give you a clap. So we won't tell her you have a sister with that same name, Shakata God. We won't tell your sister is a Gadite named Shakata either. Oh, I think she heard us. All right, so that's all we have for tonight. I thank you all for joining. Stay tuned also because we're going to be giving a lot more information, regarding wisdom. We're going to be giving a lot more information regarding wisdom. All praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Hashem, Hashiach, Yahweh Shai. All right, fire. All right, that's just you put it, and then the fire. Hallelujah. So all praise to you. Now remember, the next new moon is going to be February 3rd, February 4th, sunset to sunset. Passover is going to be April 18th to April 19th, sunset to sunset. And the last day of Passover, Feast of Unleavened Bread, is going to be April 24th to April 25th. So stay tuned because we'll be having some hopefully, some very, very special updated Passover plans. Some updated Passover plans here so we can really, move forward with Passover, figure out how we can kind of do Passover together, as some families and as brothers and as and as sisters. All right, so all praise to Yahweh, Bashem, Hamashiach, Yahweh Shai, and maybe some more class on wisdom Still trying to see. Maybe we'll have another Kakma. That's Kakma. That's her name. Kakma. Call her by her name. Kakma means wisdom. All right. Wisdom means Kakma in English. Okay. Hallelujah. Kal halal Yahweh Bashem Hamashiach Yahweh Shai Barakatah. Right. Hallelujah. Hezekiah Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai Barakatah. Yahweh Yahweh Bashem Hamashiach Yahweh Shai. So that's it for tonight. All right. It's almost my bedtime out here. Almost my bedtime out here in Mexico. So I thank y'all for joining us, for joining in. All praise to Yahweh Bashem Hamashiach Yahweh Shai. Much love to you. All right. Now remember, Sabbath is from evening to evening, from sunset to sunset. So-called 6th day. So-called Friday to Saturday. Sabbath has nothing to do with the new moon. And speaking of new moon, the new moon is the black moon. All right. So according to the information that we have and we can look at and review inside the scripture. All right. So it was beautiful having everybody here listening. Take the messages that we're teaching from the Torah in the spirit of Yahweh Shai Hamashiach. Absorb it, learn it, and then try to like share it with, with other brothers and sisters, because the Torah is a very underlooked aspect of being Israelite. We talk about law, statutes, and commandments, law, statutes, commandments, law, statutes, and commandments, but how often do people really sit down and read the laws, statutes, and commandments and do them? See, so I think in the next week or so, okay, we're gonna actually start to jump into some of the laws, some of the commandments that Yahweh gave to us, and then that's when it's gonna start to get, really vivid. Because now we're gonna get down to the nitty-gritty of, okay, what are the ins and outs of what Yahweh likes and doesn't like, wants us to do, and does not want us to do, and we'll kind of see that with our own eyes. All right, own eyes. Now it's like the past. Well, no, not really, Hezekiah. I've been like I went through a little spell, man, where I was like staying until like 10 in the morning, 3 in the afternoon or 1 in the afternoon, and then going to sleep, and then getting up a few hours later, just starting my day very, very, very late, but staying up very, very late at night and then going to sleep, in the afternoon. Yeah, I can stay awake with the best of them, man. You know what I'm saying? Maybe me and one brother went on a trip one time from Ohio, and we drove all the way down to Belize, nonstop. Drove all down to Belize nonstop, and then from Mexico one time drove up through Mexico nonstop. Drove from Ohio to Miami, about a 19-hour trip nonstop, man. So we got some long hour potentials, man. So but yeah, my sleep schedule got thrown off, very bad, man. And when you really start really going into scriptures real deep, man, you want to kind of wake up early to get into them scriptures, and then it's like a mental drain. So when you're dealing with so many different issues, family, and you're dealing with issues about the scriptures, and dealing with issues about logistics, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. So yeah, sometimes yeah. I've had a couple of them 2 a.m. classes. Going live at 2 a.m., man, because be up, man. So yeah. Love you, brothers. Love you, Hezekiah, man. Love you, man. May Yahweh be with you, name Yahweh Shai. So tomorrow we got another lesson about the Torah. All right, and then on the Sabbath we're really going to go into some details about the Torah. So once again, may Yahweh be with you all. In the name of Yahweh Shai Hamashiach. All right, I gotta make a quick exit, because if I don't, I'll be on here talking, all night. So Most High be with y'all in the name of Yahweh Shai Hamashiach. Shalom Alaikum. Like the water more.